As I told you, balancing of the third equation is quite easy. Sodium plus water giving rise to sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. So let us see how we will go about with this. So first step, as you know, you have to write down the skeletal equation with the formulas. So you'll write down sodium plus water giving rise to sodium hydroxide, and you get hydrogen. So this is what you are getting from the equation. So second step is you will count the atoms. So you will write the element and the number on the reactant side and number on the product side. So elements we have is sodium, we have hydrogen, and we have oxygen. Okay, the number on the reactant side you have is 1, and the product side you have is 1. Hydrogen you have is 2 on the reactant side. Product side you have hydroxide ion and 2 in hydrogen, and then oxygen we have 1 and 1. Okay, so if you see the equation is not balanced, so to balance this, first we will start with the metal sodium. Okay, so sodium you can balance it with a 2 on the reactant side. So next we will go with balancing of this equation. We'll go with the balancing of the sodium atom. So sodium, to balance sodium atom, so put a 2 here in front of sodium, you put a 2. So when you have 2 sodium atoms on the product side, on the reactant side also we need to put a 2 to balance it. Okay, so when you put 2 in front of sodium hydroxide, now your oxygen is becoming 2 on the product side. On the reactant side, how many you have? Only 1 oxygen atom. So to balance this, you put a 2 in front of your water also. So now let us see whether the elements are getting balanced when you put the numbers like that. So you can check it in the third segment. You can check whether the elements, the atoms are same on either side or not. So the elements, the reactant side and the product side, sodium if you see, 2 on the reactant side and 2 on the product side you have. Next we have is hydrogen. Hydrogen is 4 on the reactant side and 2 here and 2 there. So 4 on the product side. Next we have is oxygen. Oxygen is 2 on the reactant side and also on the product side we have 2. So like this you have the balance, and this is the complete balanced equation of reaction of sodium with water. So that is how simply by simple multiplications you can balance all the atoms and you can check whether your equation is balanced or not. So let us move on and let us take up with the next chemical reaction. So coming to our next chemical reaction, the fourth reaction, calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide giving rise to calcium carbonate and water. This is a very simple equation. So let us write the formulas, the skeletal equation. So what is there? Calcium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, OH is minus and Ca is 2 plus. So the formula is CaOH taken twice, calcium hydroxide plus carbon dioxide, giving rise to calcium carbonate and water. This is the skeletal equation, and let us write, this is the first step. Second is counting the atoms. So you write the element, you write the reactants number and the product number of each of these atoms. So the element you have is calcium, we have is oxygen, and we have is hydrogen. So calcium, when you talk about on the reactant side it is 1, on the product side it is 1. And talking about oxygen, here you have 2 oxygen and here you have 2 oxygen. So altogether on the reactant side you have 4 oxygen, and on the product side 3 here and 1 there, so you have 4 oxygen. Next, talking about hydrogen. So hydrogen, how many you have? 2 here. On the reactant side 2 hydrogen we have, on the product side we have 2 hydrogen. And talking about carbon, how many you have? On the reactant side you have 1 carbon, on the product side you have 1 carbon. So like this simply, there is nothing to add on, and this is the balanced equation. The skeletal equation itself is balanced equation. So like this you can just balancing part of this last equation, zinc plus silver nitrate giving rise to zinc nitrate and silver. This is quite easy. So what you have to write down first is the skeletal equation, zinc plus silver nitrate, which is AgNO3, and it is giving rise to zinc nitrate, NO3 taken twice because zinc is +2. Followed by this we have is silver. So this is the skeletal form of equation what we have. Next step is counting the atoms. So the element, the reactant side and the product side. Element you have zinc, we have is silver, and we have is nitrate. So zinc, how many we have? 1 on either side. Silver, how many we have? 1 on either side. Nitrate, we have 1 on the reactant side and 2 on the product side. So when you start balancing, you have to start with the group, that is the polyatomic ionic group, followed by that metal and followed by that non-metal. That is the rule. So first NO3 is 2 here on the product side, reactant side it is only 1. So we will multiply this with 2. When you are multiplying that with 2, it indicates that in the formula you have to write a 2 in front of NO3. So when you are writing 2 in front of NO3, your silver, which is just 1, okay, now it has become 2. Yes? So what you will write, if you put a 2 here, then it is balanced. So you have to multiply actually the product side with 2, so which will make it 2. Okay? So now silver is 2 and 2, which is balanced. Okay? The nitrate ion is 2 and 2, this is also balanced. Zinc is 1 and 1, this is also balanced. So this becomes your balanced equation for the chemical reaction of zinc with silver nitrate. So like this, actually you have to practice many number of equations in the bird form like this, and then only you can get a good grip on the balancing part. Okay, so hope you will work out with as many number of reactions as possible and try to get confident with the topic.